Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. What's happening, Chicago? What's happening, world? What's happening, everybody? It is your boy, Tony Briscoe, welcoming you again to Tony Briscoe Live. Glad to have you all here once again. Glad to be here. We're coming into a holiday weekend for those who celebrate the 4th of July. Historically, we've done it. I'll probably be somewhere with my family celebrating because that's what I do. But before we get into all this, man, I want to introduce you all to a new single that I just dropped. It is on iTunes. It is all about the city of Chicago. So I hope y'all can hear this. Y'all check it out. Somebody give me a thumbs up or somebody hit me in chat or something if you cannot hear it. Here we go. Ronald, can you hear this?
My city, yeah. My city, Chicago, we on the map. Yeah. We got house, jazz, gospel, opera, and trap. 45 like to give us a bad rap. Too many twits tweeting, that's some really sad crap. Y'all. Back at home, Lightfoot's the new sheriff. Taxes bound to go high and bring in some new tariffs. I complain, but I refuse to move, cause no city can love me like Chi-Town do. Westside love, crucial twist of psychodrama. Can't understand why black folks still mad at Obama. Southside holding it down so true. LJ got Common Chance and Kanye too. And you boy, spoken word in Chicago, the best you ever seen. Mama Brenda, we miss you. Got Black Ice the King. Since I was still stuck in our hearts. Black Hawks, Sky Fire, Bears, Cubs, and the Sox. Let's go. My city, we be so lit. Chi-Town is it. Come on, get your fix. My city, we be so lit. Chi-Town is it. Come on, get your True indeed, I'm a city boy, straight from the Illinois, bringing all that Illinois. Can you hear my voice? And they social now, they saying that I'm so shy. And they notice now, I'm praying to the most high. Shine from the gate, I be state to the lake. Remember as a kid, used to skate on state. 4 CDs at the movies for a matinee. Then hit the rink up for the rest of the
Yeah. That is my city, family. That is my man Geronimo that you all hear on that track, lacing it with me. It is all about Chicago. So please, as much as I love for y'all to stream the song, I need y'all to go out and buy that single. It's 99 cents. Who can't afford 99 cents to support musical greatness and musical genius? So y'all check your boy out. The song is My City. We highlight violence all the time. Let's highlight a song that recognizes Chicago for the greatness that it is, while we still continue to work in the community and get through the problems that we all have. I will drop a link for you, Brother Ronald. Thank you for tuning in. But if you got Spotify, Amazon, Tidal, YouTube, iTunes, iMusic, like just pull up The Endura and My City. It'll come definitely up live, and I will shoot a link out there for the people. Hey, we got a special guest coming in today, but before we get into that, I do want to drop a little news. Y'all know how I start my shows off, right? I always bring in news, and then I skip all that news and get right to my guests, and then I follow up with that news. So quickly, hey, there's been some announcements going on this week. It's been a lot happening, right? And so we have former President Donald J. Trump's, the Trump Organization, and the Trump Payroll Corporation have been charged with felony counts in connection to alleged tax schemes and kickbacks that date back as far as 2005. In Chicago, Alderman Carrie Austin and her chief of staff have also been charged with alleged bribery in connections with federal investigations that date back a couple of years. And we also have several Chicago aldermen who are clapping at Mayor Lightfoot for the rise in crime in the city. The only thing I'm going to say to that for now is she's only been in town for 2 or 3 years. Some of y'all have been in office for 20 or 30 years, but we'll touch on that at the end of the show. And of course, I have to bring up my sister, Sakari Richardson, our hopeful Olympic superstar, has been suspended for 1 month after testing positive for marijuana. Yep, I said it. Weed. Not steroids, not enhancement performing drugs, for marijuana. I will deal with that at the end of the show, before I bring my guest in, I would like to say and welcome you again to Tony Briscoe Live. I probably need to get that trademarked. I probably shouldn't even announce that right now, but I did anyway. So whatever, right? If you hear any distractions, it's because fireworks are going off all around me. All right. Can't help it. I never understood the purpose of fireworks in the daylight, but it is what it is. I always like to say thank you for being in the mix, for allowing me to host on their page. I also host this show on my YouTube channel. That's Tony the Endurer Briscoe for Tony Briscoe Live. I do like to say that my thoughts and the thoughts of my guests may not necessarily represent the thoughts of Be in the Mix Media team or Be in the Mix Media Group. So if you have a problem with something I say or my guests say, take it up with me. Do not take it up with Be in the Mix, because I don't want to get kicked off their platform. All right, cool. So cybersecurity, what is it? What world is that? I know you all have heard about hacks that have been going on, companies that have been breached across the country, across the world, actually, when it's happening. We know we get deep hacks that come out of Africa, they say, out of Russia, they say, out of China, they say, out of Iran, they say. We don't ever hear about the attacks that come out of the U.S., but we're not going to deal with that right now. We're talking about protecting the U.S., okay? It's cyber espionage, but I'm bringing in a gentleman by the name of Professor Roger Whyte. I met Professor Whyte in December on Clubhouse. I went into a cybersecurity room, had no idea what I was even getting into or looking forward to. But after being and listening to Professor Whyte for 15 minutes, when he said, if you want to get into cybersecurity, you just need to take this entry-level certification first to show you're serious. Now, he's been getting a lot of kickback on that, and he doesn't really care personally because he's been in the industry. He's a professional, and he knows what is going on, and he knows how to get it done. So what we're going to talk about with Professor Whyte today is learning about cybersecurity, learning about the different job opportunities, learning about the different types of hackers, learning about the different teams that work in cyber offense and defense, and learning about the growing threat of ransomware attacks. And then we're going to talk about learning how to change your career path into an industry with over 464,000 job openings in the United States alone. That's what's happening. That's what we're talking about. And that's what's going on. He's on the phone right now. So what I'll do is tell you this. I took what they call the entry level. If you want to be serious about cybersecurity, I took the Security Plus exam in April. I passed that exam. There's a Udemy course that I did. That's right, Udemy. You've heard of Udemy. I did that course and I passed the exam. 4.5 months of study time. With 4.5 months of study time came over 160 hours logged on Zoom. Guess who I trained with? Professor Roger Whyte and his team on Saturdays. They hold cybersecurity training sessions, but I'm going to let him talk about all that. I'm going to bring him in right now to the picture. Let's give it up for my guest, Professor Roger Whyte. Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir. Thank you for being here. I am excited.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. You know, it's good to see brothers, supporting one another. I love your show, and I'm glad to be here. Most definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, hey, let's get people an introduction to who you are, your background in cybersecurity, how you even got into cybersecurity, and then we will go from there, sir, and have a great discussion.
Okay, cool. So I was in IT. I was in IT infrastructure for a while. Well, when I first started, before IT, I was an accountant. All right, and it was very boring. It was extremely boring to death. You know how people say you bored to death? Yeah, I think they had to revive me several times.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
And so an IT person that was actually working at the company was, and then it's not only boring, there was no career path. Not just because I'm Black, that's part of it, but also too, there's not a lot of positions you can go to unless the person, for me to get to the next level, for me to make 6 figures, right? Something would have happened to my boss. Either he retires or he he dies, or or I kill him. Something had to happen for me to get to that level. So it wasn't. It wasn't. There's a glass ceiling, right? And then on top of that, I'm online with I'm on a line with other people that probably have more political clout than I do. So I saw the guy in IT. He said, "Oh yeah, I went to this school. I'm from New York, so big up Career Center, right? I went to Career Center. I got my A+, my Network Plus. Back then they had, when tech schools was out. And then because of my financial background, I was able to get a job at NASDAQ. Right, that's the stock exchange for New York, and I was working. I don't know if you ever see the floor when you look at CNN or Bloomberg when they show the floor, or MSNBC.
Yes.
That's full. I mean, thousands of computers on that floor with all those monitors. There's thousands of computers behind the scenes, and I worked. That was my first job, is to work the floor. Right, and fix the computers as we go on. And I fell in love right then. I mean, it probably was the worst IT job, but I just loved doing it. I love technology, and I've never left. And that was in 2000. Then, I was working for Prudential, and Prudential, that's when the firewall came about.
Okay.
Right. And they had their first firewall, what was called Checkpoint, and Checkpoint came in these Nokia boxes. So they ordered these boxes. No one wanted to do it. It's not my job. It's not my job. So I said, I'll do it, and that's how I fell. That's how I fell into security.
Nice.
At that time, security wasn't a job; it was a task.
Got you. Right,
called InfoSec. Right, those are all tasks you give to certain engineers. Okay, you're a network engineer. Here, you handle the firewall. You're a server engineer. You handle antivirus and all that. Now today, it's a discipline. It's called cybersecurity. It's a whole discipline. It's a department part of IT, and they have specific job roles. Right, which is great today and great opportunities, because the engineers couldn't do it. It's too much work to secure, to build and secure. That's impossible.
Got it.
And they realized that, and that's where cybersecurity in 2010, cybersecurity as a discipline started to build.
Okay, right? Great. So you were able to also get a hold of a good friend of yours, the president of the Black Cybersecurity Association, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Daryl DJ Kelly into the stream as well. Mr. Kelly, how are you?
I am absolutely positively excellent this afternoon. How are y'all?
Doing wonderful. First, I do want to offer up apologies. So, Roger was like, we talked about doing this a couple of weeks ago. He couldn't make it last week, so we pushed it to this week. And, I'm a part of the Black Cybersecurity Association. But when it comes to knowing exactly everybody in leadership, and I know you were in there because a good friend of mine by the name of Terry Lyric, who was a CISO, she knows you very well. Terry Mason. Lyric. Yes.
Terry Mason. Yeah. I think it. Yes. It comes to my career.
She knows you. Yep. So please don't consider it any disrespect towards you or the organization. My focus was getting a representative from the Black Cybersecurity Association on to talk about the amazing work that you all are doing in cyberspaces. So if you don't mind, Brother Kelly, can you go ahead and give an introduction to yourself and how you got involved in cybersecurity, and then we'll get into a Q&A and keep it moving, because I know you and Dr. and Professor Roger are very busy men in the cyber world. So I want to make sure I respect your time and get you out of here in about 30 minutes, if possible. So go ahead, give yourself an introduction to the people.
It's first of all, thank you so much for having us here today. It is truly an honor and a blessing to be here. So I wanted to make sure I gave a shout out to you, to Mr. Tony Briscoe, for giving us affording us the ability to speak here. So I'm always honored. I'm 27, so I'm still not kind of used to this whole speaking thing.
Yes.
So And I'm also here and esteemed and privileged to be here or standing here on the stage with wonderful knockout people such as Professor Whyte here on the stage. So thank you very much for the invitation here as well, Professor Whyte. I just want a little bit about how I got into cybersecurity. I'm gonna be real. One of the chief reasons I decided to that I decided to move forward with the initiatives for BCA is because I couldn't get in. So I wasn't. So I didn't get into my first. I was a software engineering intern at NASA at the time because I couldn't get into cyber. I had to take what I could get. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And I don't think software engineering at NASA is by no means anywhere near as bad, but it still wasn't what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I got my first cybersecurity job after NASA. After NASA, they decided to move me from a software engineering role into I was in an internship, so they decided to bring me on full time. And when they did, they said, "Hey, look, we'll bring you on for cybersecurity engineering." It was a beautiful thing, and I was very appreciative of that.
Nice, excellent. All right, cool. Well, hey, let's just go ahead and jump right into the Q&A. I do want to acknowledge one thing. I shared a little bit about it before. I had no idea what the BCA was, who the BCA is. On vacation during December, I hopped on Clubhouse and I saw a cybersecurity room. Right, I see a cybersecurity room. Right, I see this room and I'm like, man, I've been looking for something different. I've been looking to push my career to the next level. I've been looking to fine tune. I never considered myself a strong technical dude. Like, I'm in IT leadership, so I get to instruct people on what to do and how to execute the vision, but I don't necessarily have to have the hands-on experience. 16 years of my career was in desktop support. At the end of the day, that's cake work. That's cake work. For real, right? I see this room in December. I hear Roger's voice. He's in there with some other people. I hear Gina, right? Gina Sharp, right? I hear Roger is saying, and people are just asking the same question over and over again. You know, Roger got a certain tolerance level. Y'all know that already, right? Look,
it's amazing.
I'm gonna say this the last time. If you want to be considered serious about cybersecurity, study for the Security Plus exam. So I decided to do that. All right.
That's funny.
From the end of December to April 8th, I studied. I logged over 160 hours on Zoom with a study partner in Maryland. We took our exams the same day and we passed the same day.
Congrats.
All right. A few sessions I was able to attend with the Black Cybersecurity Association on Saturday mornings with Brother Francois and Roger, with Tanisha from the Black Girls Hack, who will be on my show next week. Right?
Oh, good.
These people who are taking time out for free. I studied hard. I passed. I cried like a baby. So let's do this. Let's just start off talking about the Black Cybersecurity Association, why it exists, and why is it necessary for people of color, for Black people, to be in these spaces. Professor, I'll start with you.
Yeah. So BCA, why it exists. One reason is that we are not given the resources to I guess play in the playing field, right? So if you think of it like the NBA, we're not given the sneakers. It is the sneakers. We're not given the sneakers. We're not given the right basketball. We don't have the right court to play on. You know, we're at a disadvantage, which is okay, right? I mean, but also the hard part is that they're not hiring us. I mean, the big boys, they call FAMA, right? FAMA, right? Facebook, Amazon, you know, those guys.
Yeah.
They combined are probably less than 20% of the workforce. Microsoft, where I work at, right? I'm a hiring manager at Microsoft. It is 5% of the whole Microsoft, which is a big player in the job arena.
Wow.
They are like 5%. right? 5%, and they hire 85,000 people last year. I mean, in total, they have 85,000 employees, and they and in the security space, and they only hire 5% of us. So there's a big issue, and Google and all of them are the same. So we want to help us get the skills and everything we need to be hired, right? So they don't have those excuses. And also we want to help them by building a talent pool so they can find, because one of the excuses that Microsoft said was, I can't find Black people. Okay, well, here is Black people. We have a big talented pool. We're called the Black Cybersecurity Association, and we have a big pool of Black cybersecurity professionals.
Absolutely.
This should be a no-brainer, right? So that is some of the reasons. DJ will give you more, but that is some of the reasons, or one of the critical reasons why BCA is set up, to get us jobs. Yeah. Not get us jobs, to get us career. Let's even say jobs.
Awesome. So DJ, like, tell us, man, because at 27 years old, to found an association is no small feat, right? Egos get involved, people step up, people step away, everybody's got conflicting, and you have not let that deter you. Why is your passion in this place for us to have representation at the table?
Thank you so much for the question. I truly appreciate it. I just wanted I was getting chills in my insides hearing you speak, because you're right. It was a lot. I thought this job was easier than it was. I started off as a volunteer for and in being a volunteer, I didn't even realize what I was getting caught up into. And a lot of those things started revealing themselves, and I didn't realize that that's what was happening. And so, like, honestly, I think it's more, where's the energy coming from? It's like I take God with me everywhere I go.
Yes.
I don't have the energy. I'm gonna let everybody know the secret's out. It's not me. DJ does not have the ability to create to do stuff like this. I don't have that. I'm literally just like, okay, what, God, where you want me to go next? Where you want me to go next? Where do you want me? So I don't have the ability to be. I'm not razor sharp at all, and anyone who gets to know me at all, they'll be able to see I am nowhere near as razor sharp as this facade makes me appear to be. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
That's humility, man. That's humility. That's great.
It's the truth. I'm trying to tell you. And so I do think that's what it is. That's what it is, man. The secret, the cat's out of the bag, the secret's out. And I'm gonna be real. I don't even want. I never wanted to. I never asked or wanted to be. I wanted to be an engineer. I went to school for engineering, so I want to be a penetration tester. Why are you asking me to found a nonprofit organization?
Yeah.
I don't care about this, that, all that presidency. I don't care. Performing in this role had a lot more to do with getting out of my way, because had it been my way, I'd be OSCP certified by now. You know what I'm saying? And even as I am studying for it now, I'm still feeling like, hey, look, that's not the right way. Even right now, and I'm even trying to spend thousands of dollars of my own personal money on these OSCP vouchers, and I'm feeling that that's not the. So I'm gonna just leave it there.
No, that's good, man. I don't know why I listened to Professor Roger and decided to go on the SANS Institute website, and I was like, oh, I could do this. I went on SANS this week, and I was like, did they just say the entry level GAC the course costs $6,340? And the exam is $849. Yep. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's good. So I got young people who will tune into this, and I'm gonna make them tune in. I don't know how, but I'm gonna figure it out. Talk to them about the different types of hackers that are out there, whether they be good or bad. Let them know the color coordination, Professor. Like, let them know like what's intriguing about this cybersecurity industry.
Oh, what's intriguing is that we got people that are their whole existence on this earth is to get what you got, right? Is to steal from companies, is to take their money, take their data, take your data and use it to steal from companies. You know, they are grown like Olympic athletes. In Russia and other countries, these hackers are grown, right? They come to your house, knock on the door, hey, DJ, I want your son. We're going to bring him to a hacker. You know, we're going to make him a hacker, right? Right? So that's our enemies, right? Amongst then we're looking at organized crime because our data is worth money on the dark web, right? I could get $10, which sounds like nothing. I could get $10 for your social security card and birth date in America. I could get $10 for those, but I steal 100, 200,000 social security, right? Equifax, Equifax was robbed for a couple of 149 million accounts.
Wow.
At $8 a piece, right?
Yes.
So you know, they need us. You know, these companies, they need us. They need cybersecurity professionals, right? And so this is really the only field that I've seen that they really are begging us to come to work, not we begging them, you know. So I want to try to get as much Black people into this opportunity as possible, right? It's part of the BCA mission also, right? We set a goal of 10,000 skilled and employed, right? Skilled, certified, and employed.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I'm all in. You know, been working with Black Girls Hack. Got a scholarship for a course that I'm still working through. I'm only probably 10% through it, but I mean, I learned how to update Kali Linux from a command line. I was jumping through the chart screaming in my basement while I was working on it.
Right.
I built my virtual Kali Linux box through VirtualBox. It's like I'm literally working all of these tools that if you go to school, you've got to pay for.
Yeah.
The Black Cybersecurity Association is teaching people these things in weekly labs every week for free.
Yeah, Tony, I have a problem with people paying to get a job. Literally, you know, you're paying someone to do your LinkedIn profile, you're paying someone to do your resume, you're paying someone to teach you information that is free. It's okay to go to a course and all that, but when my objective is to capitalize off of your lack of resources that are free. So I gather all this free resources and then I sell. It's like at a disaster zone, I'm selling water. I'm selling water bottles at Katrina. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, so I have a real problem with that, where, you know, you get this entry level job, but you already paid 20, 30,000 to get a job that's 50,000. There's a problem with that. Wow. So the BCA is set up. I know it's nothing wrong. You're capitalist, you know, that's how we are. It's nothing wrong. But we are trying to give as much free resources as possible. And our donors and everything are helping us and making sure that as far as Black people, like you said, you go to SANS and it's $7,000, right? We want to help you guys get in. We don't want that to be a deterrent for you getting into cybersecurity.
Wow. So DJ, the BCA was awarded something this year, right?
Absolutely. We've secured our first 2 grants.
Wow. Can you talk about those in detail? The name of those grants and the sponsors behind them?
Absolutely. So what it's and this is, I feel like this goes back to what I was saying about walking in purpose, because because in the as a matter of fact, coming up this next week, exactly 7 days from now, BCA will be exactly 1 year old. From a grants perspective, considering the sheer generosity of the donors that decided to invest in us, especially at such a young stage, it's not heard of, not just in cybersecurity, but
Wow.
in nonprofit space at all. I didn't even realize this until later.
and during international pandemic.
And during an international pandemic, like I'm like, it's incredible. So there's two organizations that decided to donate. First on the list is I want to give out a really huge shout out to the Gula Tech Foundation. For the people in the back that didn't get the chance to hear me, the Gula Tech Foundation.
Yes.
Mr. Ron and Mrs. Cindy Gula took the kindness and the generosity out of their own heart to make sure that they furthered the increasing the number of African American cybersecurity professionals inside of the field. There, and for the people that don't know, a lot of us, we've heard of Tenable Nessus, the people who are behind that government contracting software. And they were very, they were just they held an application process and we applied for it. I mean, I feel like the grant literally kind of had our name literally written on it. And more importantly, it was, I don't know what it was about the application process, but I think we were just astoundingly grateful to be awarded first place. It was a first place, to get the place, third place kind of deal. We were astoundingly grateful to have won first place in that particular arena. And so far, we've been using those funds to make sure that we elevated our organization forward, and there's more to come. Absolutely, positively, more to come regarding that. It's I will say that it also was an eye opener. So I'm gonna leave that one there. As far as our second grant, it was an organization called the Know Before Incorporated. They
You ever heard that, Tony? Know Before?
Yes, I have heard of Know Before,
Okay,
and probably will be doing some work with them through another organization this year to get some folks up to date on cybersecurity training, which is becoming a #1 insurance requirement now. So definitely.
Okay.
I wanted to say Know Before was the second organization that to also award, not to, and I don't think that there's don't get me wrong, although we're outstandingly grateful for every donation that we receive. If we get donated a penny, we are happy. We're grateful for every financial contribution, no matter what the amount is. The Know Before Incorporated also followed up soon after with also a $10,000 grant on top of the $500,000 that the Gula Tech Foundation decided to donate.
Wait a minute, hold up. We got to go back. We got to back up, people.
Let's rewind for the one time.
Did you just say somebody donated $500,000 to the Black Cybersecurity Association?
$500,000, $500,000, 500,000.
Remind me again what this is to support with the Black Cybersecurity Association.
It was to support the Black Cybersecurity Association. I think that they donated a total of $1 million towards the cause of increasing the number of African Americans in cybersecurity. And I think it was 500, 300, 250, 150 or something like that. No, 500, 350, 150, I believe. I think that was the breakdown. And
but you all were already, and sorry to cut you off, Daryl, but you all were already laying the foundation by giving up your time, your skills, your resources completely
for free.
Right. And and BCA is fully volunteer power.
Fully volunteer.
Right.
None of us, not a single person is on salary to this day. We are all still volunteers.
Right. The only people that make money,
one of us are still volunteers.
Right. The only people that make money off of BCA is Zoom.
Exactly. Zoom, Discord, the CPA, like everybody getting paid but us.
Exactly.
That is just simply amazing to hear.
Everybody's getting paid except us, right? Hopefully we can change that. But BCA is full volunteer power. I call it Black power, right? That's the essence of Black power. Black people helping each other out, right? Lending the hand. They try to make this picture that we're crabs in a barrel. No, man. We when we get up, we reach down and lift the next person up.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Darryl, I don't even know if you know, but I was holding Security Plus Boston exam simulations on Friday nights.
Yes, Tony, that was great.
And it was, I'm one of those folks that when I become a part of an organization, I do it respectfully. But if there's something I can take a lift off of somebody else's hand and just do. And so Crystal Finn was heading up the accountability group. So I said, hey, Crystal, would you mind if I go ahead and do these sessions? Or she was like, absolutely, brother, let's go.
Right.
And then she also let me know, like, hey, Tony, it's April. We're not doing any more Boston sessions. These folks, we all need to be ready to go and take this exam. You've done your part. You've done enough. Make them move forward. Push them out of their comfort zone. Yeah. And so I think that's the kind where I'm a part of the Black Cybersecurity Association. I'm going to get in where I fit in. And if my contribution is, say, we don't need to, everybody does not need to go and spend $99 for the Boston exam simulator and then pay $99 for I have it. Let's get together. Let's work through these questions together. Professor Roger came on one night and he was just like, hey, keep it moving. And some stuff we paced. We stopped. He had to literally break down certain things 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. But it was so helpful and so beneficial. And this is the part where I like to pivot to. And that is, I want to do some talking about the type of cyber teams that there are, those who do offense, those who do defense. What does that look like? Because I think when we start, if we can let young people know that a $15 Udemy course can change your life trajectory forever. You're not making that much on the corner doing your thing for those who are out there doing that. I ran into some young men at the movie theater and he was like, yeah, man, I got a job at Home Depot on the weekends and I'm doing this full time. This is great. And I just paused and it was one African-American. It was 2 Caucasian guys. And I said, look, I'm glad y'all engaged in something. Are y'all in school? Nope. What are y'all doing? This is all we doing. I said, look, if you want to get into an industry, start paying attention to cybersecurity. And the Caucasian kid said, man, that's what my dad told me to do. Would you listen to your daddy, boy? Listen to your dad. What are these different kind of teams? Those who attack, what are they called? What does their color coding mean? How many teams are out there that help defend or attack corporations? Please give us some insight.
Yes. So we have the red team. DJ is considered a red teamer, right? We have a red teamer they do the offensive attacks, right? In a company, you would kind of call that an audit, right? They will go in and they will do a physical or digital attack on the company to find out the weaknesses, right? To find out weaknesses in their policies, social engineering, right? To find out weaknesses in their infrastructure, to find out weaknesses in their web or public profile, Like,
So
and
they're all about attacking.
yes, they all about exploiting too.
Got you.
Right?
Got it.
Exploiting and attacking, right? Sometimes it's not an attack, so to speak. Sometimes it's they was able to find stuff that you didn't know existed,
Got it.
right? I and then use it against you, right? So that's the red team. The blue team are the defenders. The blue teams are the ones that actually are in the company, making, creating the security posture, strengthening the infrastructure, strengthening our social presence, the companies or the corporations' social presence, strengthening, the users to be able to look for social engineering attacks. Right. So that's what the blue team does. All right. Then there's a team we don't talk about because we're engineers, so we like all the technical hype. But there's a team that is 10 times more important than red or blue, and that's the white team. That's the GRC, governance, risk, and compliance.
That's where I want to go, Professor.
Right? Yeah, and we had a session yesterday to talk about what GRC is.
Oh wow!
And how important it is in the landscape, and I don't think they get enough light. But really, the blue and red team works for the white team. The white team, the GRC, they set the company policies and procedures. The red team hacks against them. The blue team defends those.
Nice.
Right. And we constantly tweaking. So without GRC, we will be in total chaos, which a lot of companies are. A lot of companies do not have a strong GRC team, so they wind up in total chaos. And that GRC team is not technical at all. So all the people that wanted to take advantage of the cybersecurity boom, but are not technical, but they could go the GRC route. And that's more research and more written and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I like to do, but I'm blaming the BCA for piquing my interest.
Yes.
In learning Linux.
Yes,
exactly. It's like I was telling my wife, I said, like, I feel like I'm gonna be a super nerd because that's like the path I'm on. Like me and my buddy, we plan on starting the CISSP in October.
Congratulations.
My goal before October is to get my LPI certification through CompTIA.
Yes.
I want to spend more time learning about the command line.
Yes. And I have a Monday workshop, in the BCA coffee shop. We have a Monday workshop that we go over Linux Mondays, we call it.
Every Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I haven't gotten them because I'm like, I'm just starting. They probably way ahead. That sounds like an excuse to me. That's what that just sounded like coming out of my mouth.
It is an excuse. And with me, and I know I get friction for this, but I'm about action and no excuses.
Yeah.
Right. So and this is for everybody listening, right? That these workshops are free. The BCA is about letting people in, right? There's no cover charges, right? There's no you come in and you could join these workshops, right? We'll welcome you in and we'll help you get caught up. No excuses. Yeah. Because it's the excuses that have us miss opportunities.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I do want to, Daryl, please talk to the people about diversity within the Black Cybersecurity Association, because, you're always going to have those like, oh, here go them black people doing something again, just only for black people. Can you talk about the diversity that is inside the BCA and the importance of that diversity and the expanse of what that brings to the table?
So it's kind of crazy that you asked about that. I literally just looked. I happen to have the racial demographic statistics demographics up on my screen right now. If it was the same computer, I would actually show it.
Yeah, that would be beautiful, because Wharton School of Business says, "In God we trust. Everybody else needs data." So please drop those numbers.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I just want people to know I'm not fluffing. I'm not sure how well y'all can see this. Those are,
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to see that. We're not gonna be able to see it, but it's okay. Just read them all.
All right, please take my word for it. Please take my word for it.
Absolutely.
What I can tell you is that so 67.2% of our organization identify as African American, and 18.4% of our organization identify as Native African. So I can honestly say that the majority of our naturally the majority of our organization is Black. Like let's be real.
Yeah.
But what is also very interesting is that 8.2% identify them. I want to say let me look at it. As Google makes it hard to figure out which ones are which. 2.3% of our organization identify as Latino or Hispanic. Okay. 0.5 identify as European. Another 2.9% identify as white and or Caucasian, and another 8.2% identify something other than the categories that I have mentioned. So this I want to say together. I never added these up recently because it seems like the percentages change, but at this time it looks like there's more than 10% of our organization do not identify as either a Black or do not identify as African or African American at all. Yeah. So at least over a tenth of our organization. And to give some context, we're 13% of the population here in the United States. So it's kind of like we are very much inclusive, and not only are we inclusive in that particular regard, but our entire board is not Black. Our entire leadership is not Black. It's not. We care more about who the person is. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is the place to pursue leadership if you identify as racist.
Right, like we're not having that.
Maybe that's not the maybe this I like, you know what I'm saying. But if you care about the mission, the whole reason we exist is so that people can excel despite the shell that we came in. You know what I'm saying? So
look, let me tell you, there I have invited, and it's crazy meeting people on Facebook. A few of them are members of the BCA now, studying for Security Plus still, right? So I met them on Facebook in either CompTIA or Security Plus groups, or networking groups, and on Clubhouse. Man, I've invited people purely from Africa, right? Hey. But when it came to the Security Plus study sessions, a clear representation of those who were from Africa, a clear representation of those who were from India. Do you hear me? I'm talking about people showing up in a different time zone.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of the family and do the work. These are the things that I love about the BCA. I know Discord, like it get a little crazy sometimes, but I focus on the pureness of what the BCA is doing. And that's something me and Professor talked about. He was like, Tony, focus on the good we doing. Keep that negative stuff out of the atmosphere, man. Don't even let that stuff bother you. It happens few and far in between. So don't let that distract you from the big picture. The organization is great. And that's the kind of leadership that we need continually in place. I think one of the most phenomenal things I saw on the BCA, and it was earlier in the year, a young man had got laid off from his job because of a criminal background. Within 6 hours, I saw the chat blowing up for this young man. He had a job at the end of the day. And I was like, wait a minute. This is impossible. But the BCA made it possible.
Yes.
That was one of the most powerful. When you talk about an organization that's standing for people and people who have made mistakes in their past, who need redemption, who need grace, who don't need further punitization, When I saw that take place, I called my director of infrastructure. I said, bro, I just witnessed something amazing. I watched a guy lose his job that he was performing well because of something that happened in his past. And I watched the BCA step up and stand for this young man and get him employed in a 6-hour time period.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Yeah. And also too, what is real cool is that now that we're bringing Black professionals together, right? Black professionals are starting to look around their job and say, wait, hold up. I'm the only Black person here. Let me get some Black people. Now they have a pool or a resource that they can tap into and bring people. We have job postings that we have hundreds of jobs in there. And it's all organically grown. It's people in the job saying, hey, my job got 4 or 5 jobs. I want to get Black people in those positions because, you know, they're not advertising to us, right? So,
that's right.
So it's real cool. It's real cool.
Yeah, you guys are doing amazing work. What do you tell young people who seem disinterested, young people who know they can't afford to go to college, young people in this generation who are believing, I'm not going to college and dropping $30,000 to $50,000 a year?
What college is that?
Well, I mean, you know, I got young people that go to New York State University, New York University. I mean,
there are colleges. It's expensive, man.
Yeah.
12K or something. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I mean, so what do you say to young people who want to do better, who want to change, but they don't see the hope in the community that they're in? I got a mission. I'm on a mission. I can't speak about it yet because it's still in the foundation. What I did was told Cisco, because I got an intro to cybersecurity course going through our Champs Mail mentoring program in Ghana right now. In 5 weeks, 40 people signed up. 26 people finished this course. It's a 15-hour self-paced course. As a matter of fact, only because of the Black Cybersecurity Association, I was able to roll through this course in 3 hours.
Oh.
Because I've been in a Security Plus book, so I knew how to get through the curriculum. I wanted to experience with people I got to help through it, right? But 26 people finished this program. So I'm getting ready now to put them in the 30-hour course, which is Cybersecurity Essentials, right? This is all through Cisco that's teaching them how to use Packet Tracer.
Right, yeah.
Right. And so I told Cisco, I tell you what, you make me an offer I can't refuse. I'll be your ambassador. I will travel this world for you to introduce cybersecurity to everybody I can stand in front of.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that. I will travel the world because what I'm seeing now is belief in myself. Because when everybody was saying, well, Black people ain't doing nothing, I'm like, have they not heard of the Black Cybersecurity Association?
Thank you.
And we're not the only one, but this is the one I'm associated with. So this is the one I can speak to.
No, there's other organizations too that are also doing it.
Yes, I am learning so much how to be better. I'm getting ready. My resume is getting ready to get Tanisha about to put a blade through that resume.
yeah.
But I'm learning so much. And I'm like, I'll be 50 in 2 weeks.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. And so now I'm like, man, if I can get in front of these young people and just inspire them to take control of their life. I got a friend whose son decided he's not going back to college.
Right.
Well, he reached out to his goddaddy. Oh, you better talk to this boy. You better talk to this boy. No, I'm not going to talk to him. I'll talk with him.
Yeah.
I'll see what he wants to do. He's studying for his A+ and Network Plus right now. I said, follow the groundwork. I sent him a link to the BCA. I said, now, when you're ready to get serious, here's a link to the Black Cybersecurity Association website. Every resource you about to get ready to go pay for, it's all available for you for free. I want you to know that.
Yeah.
So the choice is up to you. I can't make you do it, but I'm going to empower you to get the keys. But you know what? His dad called me. He said, man, I don't know what you said to my son, but he's excited about life now.
Very good. And
that's the path. That's the path that I want our young people on. So I'm going to be quiet because they don't need to hear from me. What do you say to young people who may not have a desire for tech at all? What do you say to them, and how do we encourage them?
I say, okay, let's say they don't have a desire for tech, right? They still could get into cybersecurity. There's a lot of non-tech jobs, But let's say that's not the route they want to go. I'll tell them to find a organization. Don't do it yourself. I mean, as a criminal, I find if I want to sell drugs, I find an organization, Blood, Crips, or whatever, to help me do that. So why can't we do that for good?
And we not saying go find no Bloods and no Crips, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
No, you don't have to find them. Bloods and Crips got great recruiters. They don't even have to go look. They will find you, so don't even worry about that, right? But you know, so on the other hand, we want to do good. We seem like it's hopeless, right? We seem like no one's going to help me. I want to become a doctor. There's nobody there to help me. There's no bloods, a doctor blood gang. You know what I'm saying? There's no gang for doctors. There's no gangs for lawyers, right? That are out there.
That's right.
So that's what I tell them. Go find a gang, right? Go find an organization like BCA are with technology and cybersecurity, right? Find an organization that you could be with like-minded people. That will give you the strength and the motivation that you need, because without that, it's a endless battle that you get caught in a vicious cycle, right?
Yep. Thank you, Darryl. What about you?
I want to say that it's I also just try to make sure that what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm always trying to make sure that I'm being as inspirational as possible, and I think that they're that kids are naturally like I feel like we all have a teacher that we all remember from high school that made us fall in love with something. We didn't even it didn't even matter what the field was. It was about the person, not the field. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I try my best to become that teacher for them. You know what I'm saying? Become the teacher that every kid wanted, that inspiration that you can do it. This is not beyond you. Now I understand, especially because I was born and raised in the hood, man. And it's kind of crazy how it's interwoven into our culture. We honestly do not think that we're good enough to do this. We've internalized our inferiority, and without even realizing it. And so I'm not only trying to, and so I'm like, no, throw all of that away. So please know that you can do it. You can do it. Now I'm not it's I don't know how else to. I wish I'm losing the words, but hopefully you can feel the passion. I
do. Yeah. That hesitation literally shows and breathes forth the passion, right? And that's where I dwell in working to keep people motivated. After passing the Security Plus, I'm still in the Security Plus accountability group. And I don't tap in as much, but I tap in every now and then. And I say to them, keep it moving. I literally called one of the team members last week and had a conversation with them. Hey, don't put this exam off anymore. You studied long enough. You studied hard enough.
Yes.
Let's just deal with the facts. When I took Jason Dion's exam, it was only 3 times I scored over an 83. I never scored over a 90 on Dion's exams. on Gibson's exams, I did the best I could on every Gibson exam.
Right.
When we did the CompTIA exams on Udemy, they were equally as hard. Right? I kept going and I kept pushing through. The Boston exams, Professor Whyte saw those exams, and them exams was tough. Those questions were tough. Roger is just intelligent and he remembers everything that he's done his entire career. And he was breaking that stuff down. But I told him, I said, look, you got to trust that you know what's going on and that you've put in the work.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm grateful for is when I took my Security Plus exam, I told Professor what I did. He was like, man, you shouldn't have done that because I didn't want to leave any question unanswered. So instead of just marking them, I answered them and marked them. he told me the danger of doing that because the exam is comprehensive, right? So if you mark the wrong thing wrong, you could be in trouble. So it just made me appreciate more that I didn't go back and change anything. So I told people what professor told me, hey, do not answer a question and mark it. Just leave it unanswered, because once you answer it, you can't unanswer it. You got to select another option. Yep. Unless it's a multiple choice one, you got to select another option. And so even having basic knowledge like that remember, comprehensive exams transform. If you answer the wrong thing wrong, they can prompt you with 2 or 3 more questions. Yeah, right. You don't know which ones are graded and which ones are not. But I try to get in there to inspire the people to keep pushing forward.
Yes, that's what I'm about. Let's talk more work.
Let's talk more work. And that's exactly why Crystal said it's time to end this, Tony. You done stayed up enough Friday nights, late, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You don't need to do this anymore. You've given enough. We got to take action. And that's what I feel from the BCA. For a minute, I want y'all to take 2 minutes apiece. And if y'all want to just chalk it up to one person answer this last piece, I know y'all got plenty of things to do. Ransomware attacks are a growing threat. What we don't hear a lot about, we hear about the corporations. Mm-hmm. How dangerous is ransomware for local residents and small businesses who typically don't have the funds to pay attention to things like this? They don't think about endpoint security. Somebody dropped off a laptop that I have today. I don't really do computer repair anymore, but when the young people call, I got to show up for them, right? They busy. And I was like, one, your virus software expired. That's your first problem. Your second problem is you let somebody sell you a system with 4 gig of memory in it. You can't do nothing with 4 gig of memory.
Right.
But literally, I was kicking myself all through the BCA. I finally sat down and did it. I got rid of all of my default route information at home. Right? I changed everything. SSIDs, moved over to AES encryption. Like I started applying what I was learning. And I think that's the joy for me. But with these ransomware attacks, how at risk are users within our community? Because if they can target somebody, where they coming.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot, the number one statement I hear from small businesses are, why would they attack me? I'm a barbershop, or I'm this, or I'm that. Yeah. They use you to attack somebody else. They use your resources, and sometimes they combine resources. They call them botnets. They call them zombies. They turn your resources into their zombie, and then they attack Amazon because they can't. A couple of reasons. One, Amazon is behemoth, so it's like David and Goliath. I'm going to need a lot of resources to attack Amazon, but also two, I don't want. There's going to be a backlash. FBI, NSA, there's going to be big forces coming against me, and they're going to come to you, not to me. You know what I'm saying? They're going to bust down your door first, not me. So you are their zombie. You are their botnet.
Wow.
Right? So even if you don't have nothing they want, and then on the other thing, you have something they want, you have credit cards, you have that information that you don't even know that you have people's personal identifying information. We call it PII. You have PII in your system that I can use to make money to fund my attacks. It costs millions of dollars to attack Amazon or Yahoo or whoever.
Wow.
Right. So I could use your charitable contribution by giving up your credit cards and your bank accounts. Thank you. Right. So I could go attack others.
Wow. Interesting. Daryl, we're at a point to close out. I want to say to you, let no one despise your youth. And I want to say to you, don't even you despise your youth. Being uncertain means one thing. You're walking in humility and you're trusting older leadership around you to guide you in the right way. You are doing an amazing work for our community. You are doing an amazing work through the Black Cybersecurity Association, and you're doing an amazing work developing yourself. Don't get weary in well doing, for you shall reap if you faint not. Keep your eye on the vision and the mission. People gonna come, people gonna go. That's just life. You stand your ground. You be who God has called you to be, and you continue to be a part of the torch that is leading our people to greatness and that is leading our people to success in cybersecurity. You are a force. No one can take that away from you.
I don't think that there's anything to add to that. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Tony, because I try to tell them that every day. Thank you.
I sense it. I sense it.
Professor, though.
I know it's there. That's why I wanted to speak directly to it. Let no one despise your youth. And for older folks that don't respect you, just tell them when was the last time you brought $500,000 to a nonprofit organization? And if they can say they've never done that, then you kick the dust off of your shoes and you keep moving and you keep doing what you're doing and changing lives all around the world for people from Africa, from people from Asia, from people from Europe, from people from South America, from people from North America. You are changing lives around the globe. And you've done it at 27 years old. And believe it or not, you're just getting warm, brother. You haven't even touched the surface of the greatness that you are yet. But as long as I'm in your life and Professor makes sure he gets my phone number, I'm gonna make sure you know every day that when you look in that mirror, that you are a stamp and you are etched into this world. You just meet me for the first time, but because of your legacy and your work, I'm a certified Security Plus specialist now. That gives me an entry level. That gives not even entry level. That gives me just access into cyber. I listened to Professor Roger when he spoke. That's why you all are here today. This is why I can't wait to get Tanisha from Black Girls Hack on.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of people on my platform and following me every week, but if I can give you space to speak life and to encourage greatness in others, I've run away from programming for the rest of my life. When I get through with the intro to Linux, I've got an intro to Python next. I'm not talking negative about it. I'm not speaking negative about it. And the only reason I'm not is because I know if I have questions, the Black Cybersecurity Association will be there during the week with labs, will be there on the weekend with labs to answer questions and help me through this. I have no reason to fail. Brother, your legacy is etched in stone. Keep doing what you're doing, gentlemen. I thank you for your time on tonight. I appreciate you both. I'm gonna give you your space back. Professor, we'll talk soon. I know you got the Rodecaster Pro and everything, so we're gonna be talking about getting you stepped up and getting you specializing and looking directly into the camera. Like I'm learning so many things new, but I appreciate the Black men in my life in technology who are giving me the foundation and the tools that I've never had in IT through my entire career. This is a journey for me, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I'm going to keep passing the word, and I'm going to keep sharing the great work that the Black Cybersecurity Association is doing. Gentlemen, thank you for your time, and we'll check in soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tony.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from the president of the Black Cybersecurity Association, Mr. Daryl DJ Kelly Jr., and you heard from one of the board members, Professor Roger Whyte. We didn't even get into talking about him being a part of the Wu-Tang Clan, but we're going to deal with that at another time. This is my closing. I want to talk about Miss Sakari Richardson, our Olympic hopeful, who made a decision based on the grief she was feeling at the time, losing her mother, that she indulged in marijuana. Let's deal with the facts first. As an Olympian, it was a mistake. She got suspended for a month. Those are the rules, not negating the rules. Let's deal with accountability first. We can deal with the other stuff, but let's deal with accountability first. Even in grief, she made a decision That was not wise. And she's going to pay the ultimate price for that. And that is unfortunate. What we won't do is let the world drag our Black queen through the ground because of the decision that she made. We will not denigrate or trash a Black woman for a mistake she made being an Olympian, for taking or indulging in marijuana to deal with her grief. We will not tear her down. We will not tear her down when America has spent a lifetime locking up Black and brown people for marijuana. We will not tear her down when white billionaires across the world have made billions off of marijuana, especially in America now that it's legal. Black folks could not get full access to a lot of the dispensaries. I know there are some Black owners, but you're not pulling the money. I know white people who have built $1 million businesses off making billions in the marijuana industry since it's been made legal. We are not going to tear our sister down. We are not going to beat her up. We are not going to call her out of her name. We are not going to disrespect her. You know why? Because I know what happens at white suburban schools with kids in high school. I know the rainbow games that they play. As a matter of fact, when Michael Phelps was caught on video smoking marijuana, oh, he's young. Oh, it's okay. No, we're not going to do that. Our sister is owned up. She spoke her truth. And I'd like to say that if she would have been an alcoholic, it seems like nobody would have a problem with that. If she would have puffed on 100 cigarettes and gave herself lung cancer, nobody would have a problem with that. Listen to me. Sakari Richardson, my sister, old enough to be my daughter. I love you. I stand with you. Your decision, you've already acknowledged the mistake. You don't need condemnation from me. What you need is my support. But I will not stand by and let this country and let these folks denigrate, destroy, or bash your character. You are excellent. You made a choice and you've paid a penalty for that choice. You're going to learn from this. You're going to grow up, and then you're going to get back on that track and field, and you're going to do what you do because nobody can do it like you can. This is your boy, Tony Briscoe from Tony Briscoe Live. Tune in next week when I bring on the president, founder, and CEO of Black Girls Hack, Miss Tanisha. Until then, be safe, be smart, be wise, and be blessed. It's your boy TB. I'm out of here.